Y'all, what's up? It's Kato again. Just wanted to talk to you guys today. Of course, another story of my life, getting through anxiety. And I wanted to talk to you guys today, mostly just the symptoms that I had dealt with, and try to get some in-depth personal things that I had went through. When I had the anxiety, I remembered driving down the street. I used to be scared to drive my car. Believe it or not, guys, I was so scared to drive my car. I would freak out going into a closet. Like, I hated going into the closet getting my clothes. I hated that. It's like my breathing would start to get heavy. Then I would start feel like I was hyperventilating. And I remember my throat would always get tight. And it just felt like it was closing in. It felt like I couldn't breathe. Again, I'm just mentioning symptoms that I had, when I was going through anxiety. I remember constant bathroom runs. I went to the restroom a whole lot. I go to the restroom, then 30 minutes later I go again. It's like, damn, man, like I couldn't stop peeing. I remembered running thoughts were horrible because my mind would not shut down. It would not stop. And it kept going. It kept going. And anything, it doesn't matter what it was. If I seen somebody died, or I seen an animal inside the road dead, or anything catastrophic, it would just take a toll on me. I feel like I'm losing myself. And I may have had maybe 5 or 6 different episodes of depression where some of them was mild and some of them was heavy, where I just felt alone. I felt like I was dying. And nobody understands it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't talk to a normal person when you're abnormal and try to explain to them what's going on inside your head. Like I said, I couldn't drive my car. If I got in my car, it was like I forced myself. But getting in my car was like a negative. It was just negative. I just hated driving my car. And I remember thinking inside my own head. I remember thinking, I would think so much inside of my own head to where I didn't even know how to talk. I remember I used to always have this, like you feel like you nauseated, like you're about to throw up. I used to have those feelings a lot. Like if I get slightly excited about something, or inside of a discussion with someone where I'm kind of trying to feel emotional about what I'm talking about, I just felt like I was going to throw up. You can feel like you're gagging. I constantly had heartburns. I had heartburns a lot. And it didn't matter what I pretty much ate. Like, everything gave me heartburns. And as much as I've never used Tums. I've never used Tums before until I started having anxiety, because I was like, man, like it would just wake me out of my sleep. That's how bad that anxiety was for me. I remember bad cramps. I had cramps really bad. Stomach cramps. My lower, I had spasms. My muscle spasms was horrible. I think the most horrible physical symptom I had was muscle spasms, because they would go everywhere. They would be in your shoulder. They hit your legs. They'll go into your stomach. You start having pain in certain places. Now, I had some people that said that they had more chest pain. I didn't have as much chest pain. Not that I can recall. I didn't have a lot of chest pains or anything like that. But I definitely had back pain. My back pain was horrible. I remember my legs always feeling heavy. Now, again, guys, I'm giving y'all some of the feedback on the physical. So, and I'll get to the mental here in a second. But the physical symptoms were horrible. When I tell you, every time there was something different in my body, I just immediately thought that it was cancer or kidney failure or blood clot. Now, throughout my life, like even before I had anxiety, like I stopped eating anything fried since 2002. So I never ate any other fried food or anything fried since 2002. I stopped eating that stuff. I wasn't a soda drinker, so I didn't drink sodas, and I don't eat cake, and I don't eat ice cream. So I'm not really a junkie like that. The only thing that I was putting in my body was Red Bull. I never even took pre-workout. I wasn't into pre-workout. Never had an interest in taking pre-workout. But if I had the Red Bull, I would drink one of those. And a few times I've drunk Monster drinks before. Maybe at least less than 5 times I've had a Monster drink throughout the time that they came. Whenever they came out, I only drank maybe 5 or 6 of those before. I never drank the NOS, or whatever that drink is, NOS or NOZ, I think it is. Let's just say I never drank any other energy drink besides Monster and Red Bull. I may have tried a Viper. I think it was called a Viper. I may have tried one of those before one time. I'm not sure, but it might have been no, not Viper. It's called Venom. I drank one of those before. I didn't like that. The smell was strong, man. It smelled like like something you put in your car. I was just not into that. But anyway, so but most of the people that I work with, a lot of them started having panics due to pre-workout, because they was taking too much of it and their bodies just rejected. The body just didn't want it no more. But once you get the little panic attack, then it goes downhill, because the panic is almost the first indication that anxiety is on the arrival, that it's going to become a part of your life. And then you feel like you're going downhill, because you okay the first few days after you have the panic, but eventually everything goes downhill. And then you start working your way back up to get your mental state back. But again, man, like my body hurt. I remember a lot of times I had chills, nights when it was cold. I was really hot, or when it was hot, I was too cold. Like my body just never matched with the climates that I was under. And so my vision was so poor, man. Like my phone, I had to brighten my phone up. Sometimes I had to turn the light all the way down. But if I dimmed the light on my phone, then I couldn't see. And I was like, man, I had good vision. Like I can see anything. But the anxiety made me feel like I needed glasses. So the protrusion back and forth, like if I look at something, it was just kind of like fade off, and I had to look at it, stare at it. And every now and then I get a good clearness, I get a good clear look at it, but then it goes back into a fade or a blur. And so, yeah, that happened a lot. I hated watching TV shows or anything in color. Reality shows was out of it. I couldn't watch that. I had to watch black and white shows. That's the only thing that I was comfortable with. But I still, even though I was watching shows, I wasn't connected to it. But at least it kind of helped block off some of the running thoughts. Because that was my thing, trying to get rid of the running thoughts, or trying to control the method of thinking. But you can't control it because of the inconsistency with the chemical imbalance, because your hormones are off, your system is off, your body's producing so much adrenaline, and it's constantly in your blood. So it confuses the mind. The mind don't know how to think, because the body is sending bad signals, because your body's off. So going through that was tough, debilitating, as I would say. And it was just horrible, man. It was hard for me to take a shower because I didn't want to bathe. You know, like the self care was not in was not part of the process to me. Like I didn't want to bathe. I was scared of water. I didn't want the water in my face because I would have to close my eyes, and closing my eyes, standing up with water, my body couldn't understand what was going on. My body thought that the water was a threat, even though I didn't feel it like that. But my body took on as though the water was a threat. So it was making me feel frantic. But eventually, over time, y'all know the process, all of those symptoms go away eventually. And then you start leveling back off. Now, on the mental state, now mind me, in all my years, you know, I've never experienced anything like that. I've never had anxiety before. I never had depression before. But here I am experiencing all of these symptoms. And I was scared, man, just like you guys. I was scared, you know, like you feel like you're going through this shit by yourself. You can't talk to nobody because if you talk to someone, it's almost like they make it worse. So you're in your own world trying to live through it. And it's like even though you messed up or kind of jacked up in the head at the moment, the reality of life is still happening. The reality of someone else, and how can I say it? It's like in someone else's eyes, they're in tune, so they can convey conversation with you. They can talk to you in a humanly way. But when you communicate with them, it's almost like your mind is constantly running, so you can't talk to them and feel at the same time. It's like you have to think harder on what you're saying to get your point across, and yet you still can't feel what you're saying. So that makes it worse because you can't connect to what's going on. You know, don't talk about sex because, you know, guys, sex is not even in the building when you're going through anxiety. Even from a man's standpoint, it is hard because you can't really concentrate because your mind is running. Your brain puts some weird shit in your head during intimacy. And for women, it's the worst place because a woman is not interested. Their mind is trying to become wholesome again. In their mind, they're trying to have that emotional feeling back. They need to have that. Other than that, their mind is all over the place, so they're not feeling it at all. They're just there. So, but yeah, like the mental state, man, the ear ringing and the popping in the head, the headaches, man. Dude, I felt all that shit. The worst symptom to me besides my back was my back, then my throat. My throat always felt like it was closing in. I felt that for a while. And when it wasn't that, I would cramp a lot. So I had cramps in my legs a lot. My legs always felt weak. I had poor blood circulation because if I sit down or bend over, I just felt like I was gonna pass out. I get dizzy. I feel like I'm about to fall over. It was many times, man, I've felt like I was, you know, falling over, you know, just, man. And when I reflect on it, not knowing that where I am now in my life, guys, it's amazing because I am true testament. You know, I am a living testament that, hey, you do recover and you do go back to being normal. Because I felt like you guys where I was like, man, I'm never going to get better. This shit ain't going to never go away. I'm going to be like this for the rest of my life. Guys, I'm telling you guys, like, I was one of those people too. I would say the same shit. Like, man, I don't think that person's going through the same shit I'm going through. You know what I'm saying? Because he didn't drink Red Bull. He did drink caffeine, but he didn't drink Red Bull. Oh, now this guy ain't going to do it because he said he took pre-workout. So we may not have the same shit. You know what I'm saying? But no. Withdrawals are withdrawals. Stimulants, like pills or anything, popping pills or doing any type of drugs, your body goes into some type of shock or it goes into withdrawal. If it's detoxing, you will go through those same similar symptoms. Everybody go through it. Alcoholics go through it. But you have to dig deep. You have to dig deep, and you have to be okay not being okay. You have to be submissive to the anxiety. You have to surrender to it. You have to allow anxiety to take you to the place it wants to take you. Don't try to fight it. Don't try to question it. The answer to anxiety is you have anxiety. That's the answer to it. The answer to your symptoms are I have anxiety. Guys, you have to say that to yourself. Even when you start feeling better, still put in your head that, you know what, it's only anxiety. It's only anxiety. I just have to let anxiety win so I can recover. You know, when y'all start feeling some kind of way and you're like, man, I don't know why I'm feeling like this. Yes, you do. Just say it's fucking anxiety. Ain't no fucking COVID. It's not COVID. And I'm going to explain something to you guys for those who think y'all, because I've had many people asking the same question, especially during the COVID time, that they saying that I have anxiety due to COVID. Listen, the anxiety COVID has nothing to do with caffeine anxiety. They're two different symptoms. Like when COVID happened, guys, I had anxiety during COVID, okay? But let me explain to you what the anxiety was. It was me anticipating the thought that maybe I will get it because of around the people, the people I was around, and I had COVID, I think maybe 3 times. And I even think I had the variant, to be honest with you. I think I had the variant because it hit me one time. It was too bad. I couldn't sleep. My neck was hurting so bad. My whole body had locked up. And I had a lot of shortness of breath. Now, behind that, now remember, I recovered from anxiety, okay? But now I'm going through what they call COVID anxiety. All right, so COVID anxiety was this. I was just worried that I might have COVID. And people were going to the hospital and not coming out. So that is a fear, right? It's because you're anticipating it. But here's the thing about that. When you're normal and then you have that type of anxiety, all it takes is somebody to throw you a birthday party or throw a little gathering or get your mind off of the thought. Then you forget about it because you're distracted. Like that's how quick the shit just fades off, man. I'm telling you. Now, maybe the next day you get home or the next day it might set in like, damn, man, I hope I ain't got COVID. You go through that thought again, maybe. But if somebody say, hey, man, we're going fishing, we're going to ride motorbikes, then you forget about the COVID shit again. So it only has a place when somebody's reminding you, you know what I'm saying? Because you're normal. So you know how to find a distraction to avoid it. But when you're going through anxiety, like you and I have been through when we went through it because of caffeine, we don't have control. We don't have control over our thinking. So if we don't have control over our thinking, guys, you got to think about it. We don't have control over our thinking. We can't be rational, right? Just think about it. We can't be rational. So if you cannot be rational, then how can you control how you feel? How can you control how you're thinking? You just can't. I'm telling you. So anxiety, COVID anxiety is not the same as going through anxiety due to substance abuse, whether it's caffeine or drugs or any harsh drug. They're not the same, guys. So if you're walking around here believing that you COVID or whatever the case is and you keep producing that thought, I'm not saying that you're doing it on your own because you creating a fear, so it's gonna feed on it. Because you can make anxiety feel stronger because you feed into the negative, especially if you're a negative person. If you were slightly negative before anxiety, most likely you're gonna be negative to it. Taking and just constantly finding reasons to be focused on it. But it takes different people, different minds to get through this shit, without taking any type of drugs. So my time is about to end, guys, but I hope this little video will help y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like, because one of these days, y'all see how I'm smiling right now? Because I am happy. I am so freaking happy, man. So one of these days, you guys are going to be doing the same thing that I'm doing. You're going to be smiling. You're going to get that old you come back. The old you will come back, guys. Trust me on this. And I want y'all to be safe. And, if you got to leave a comment, leave the comments. I try to answer the most I can, but I hope this story that I gave y'all, my little thing, I hope that it helps. Good luck.